Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Snow with the Snow Globe Podcast. I want to welcome you back to another episode on our podcast. And today we have a very special guest, as always. We are going to be talking with SpydamanX from CMG Studios, and he's going to tell us a little bit about his journey from going from an engineer to a studio manager for the very successful CMG Studios. And I can't wait for you guys to hear it. Hope you like it. This is SpydamanX. And you said you majored in aerospace.
Engineering.
Why?
Because as a kid, I love the air. As a kid, I can name anything that flew when it was built, who built it. And
Really?
yeah, I was that kid. So I'd look in the sky and go, hey, that's a Cessna. Hey, that's a Lear. Hey, that's a Sikorsky.
Wow.
So, and then it didn't help that I live 15 minutes from Sikorsky aircraft.
Well then, it's just meant to be. You know, I worked at an airline.
Oh, which one?
It was a small airline out in Portland called Seaport. They closed down, though.
Okay. Sorry, Seaport. Bye.
Poor Seaport. It was an interesting experience. Did you ever do anything in it?
To be honest, I started, got super excited, massive layoff, and I said, screw this.
This happens, right?
Yeah.
Is that why you just started?
And I never went back.
Yeah. That's
Never.
where it's got to start.
Never went back.
I feel like those moments push you. You either decide that you're going to do what you like or you're going to do this again.
Right.
Yeah.
So
wow.
I just left, never went back. You're paying all this money because my school was ridiculously expensive. So
I bet. Engineering?
Yeah. I mean,
it's at least a $50,000 commitment.
It was 44, so you're close. And this was back then.
Oh, bad.
So
how long ago was this?
You're really trying to make me tell my...
Just give me a ballpark.
I'm 5 years old. That I'm sticking to it. This was 2004.
Okay.
So yeah, $44,000 a year.
Wow.
To
that's a lot.
Get a piece of paper I'm never gonna use again.
Dude, listen. We all commit to. I think there was somebody, I forgot. It was probably a professor. She had written a college scholastic book, and she had mentioned that there was a movement between the 70s and 80s, roughly into the 90s, of where culture was like, you must get a degree. You won't be anything unless you get a degree. And I think that's carried over. Nowadays, it seems like people are like, degree, me.
Yeah, I mean, the whole concept of degrees to me now don't make any sense. I can actually attest to this. What's actually happening in the educational field right now is pioneered by a group that my father is the head of. They're reversing how you get your degree. So instead of you going through course after course after course after course, then getting into your major, they're dissecting what the requirements are to do the job and teaching it backwards.
That makes sense.
It's more practical.
Pretty much how you end up learning.
Anyway, instead of you going through
learning past.
Why in the world does an engineering major need French? That type of, well, I mean,
it depends. It could be helpful, right?
But the diction of how to pronounce the vernacular of this blah 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 blah. Why do I need the literary history of this madness? I'm math.
Gotcha.
I'm science.
You gotta learn what you gotta learn. Unless you're doing engineering in France?
Right. There are certain traits in engineering that require that stuff. So the copywriters, the technical writers that have to write the manuals for this stuff, it makes sense that they have to do that.
Okay.
So, but again, why do
That's an age-old question, though. Why do I need to know this?
I got to get 15 maths done, but you want me to pass an English minor to get my degree. For what?
Well, would you agree, and I'm not putting words in your mouth, that you do a lot of learning developmentally and relationally in those years, college years? Could it be helpful for that reason?
I can honestly say...
just something to do until you...
90% of my education happened when I left.
I agree.
I probably remember the basics and things that have become muscle memory, but in everyday practice, no.
I know, right? That's so wild. Yeah, it's hard because I suppose like my younger siblings, like they're going to college now. They're around that age. Do I want to go into debt? Should I not? Of course, my parents are like, don't go into debt. You know what I mean? And I'm like, should they take time off and do nothing and then go to school? What
Well,
would you think
I,
is
I, I, I,
best?
I would say this. Figure out what you want to do. Figure out what it takes and go do that
Yeah.
instead.
Okay.
Because some of the most talented people I know have never set foot in a classroom.
Really?
Some of the most successful people I know have never set foot in a classroom.
Right.
Because they let their craft dictate their future instead of the requirements for the craft dictate their future.
I gotcha. Now, not to harp on anybody's degree, they're helpful and they're useful.
Oh yeah,
when they are.
it's a great piece of paper that I can say I
to-
got.
It's a great piece of paper.
And it
You
hangs
may
there.
need more information. Look at your face.
I wish there was a camera so you could see my face.
He's like, sure.
Okay. So, and somebody said this to me a while ago. It doesn't matter where you get your bachelor's. It depends on where you get your master's and your doctorate.
Okay.
So, but if you want to go to school for that long, make sure it's noteworthy.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, noteworthiness can put you in certain positions.
Okay. Okay. That's fair.
Because I don't have my master's, I don't have my doctorate, but I have the experience.
Right.
So someone that has that may get put ahead of me, but once we get in, I'm gonna outpace you, outwork you, and
Right.
make you look childish. So, I mean, that's just, I mean, Will Smith said it best. I don't care how talented you are. You may have more skill than me, you may have more knowledge than me, but you will not outwork me.
Yeah.
I would rather die on a treadmill.
That's funny. Smart guy.
I mean, I respect that man a lot. So
He's a great guy. He reminds me of my dad, actually. But anyway,
Will Smith reminds you of your dad?
he and my dad have very similar.
Which part? The Fresh Prince version?
No, the older version. No. That'd be like my brother or cousin or something.
That's why I was like,
Yeah, that's funny. They're the same age? They might be the same age. Hey, Dad! Anyway, speaking of not using that paper anymore, so where did that lead you to?
What happened is, believe it or not, I was in Seattle. I hopped in my car with my sister and drove to Atlanta.
Whole 4-day drive?
We didn't, 2.5.
Shut up.
Yeah, we hauled.
That's long.
We hauled. My eldest sister actually already lived here, and she was like, just come here. I was like, okay. I packed up my stuff, had $200 in my pocket.
$200. You're brave.
And drove across the country in a 94 Honda Accord.
Nice. And it made it, huh?
It made it.
Dang.
And then when I got here, because I got here and took it to the mechanic, and he goes, how is this thing still running?
You know, Hondas are loyal, though.
Of course. It
You
got
got
me.
no oil in it, no tires, it'll still run.
Yeah, and it got me across the country, and
That's awesome.
I'm grateful to actually have been here. I'm grateful to my sister for one taking me in at the time, and then allowing me to have a moment to get back to where I needed to be. I went from engineering to sales. It was kind of weird.
Oh, yeah?
And then
Was that like a natural, or you just kind of picked it?
it was something to make money at the time.
That makes sense.
And then ended up being second ranked in the company. So it was
So you
like
found your flow.
I was the youngest sales rep to be in that tier for the entire company for 2 years straight. So it was
Good.
kind of crazy. And then I hit a ceiling there, and I was just like, you know what, I'm out.
You're like, okay, this is good. I'm leaving.
Yeah, this is great. I want to move up. No, you're too young.
What?
What? You're too young to move up? Yeah, people are not gonna respect you. But I know
that
this.
sucks.
I know this stuff.
You can just
Yeah,
rely
you're
on your
just
skills. Come on.
you're just too young.
Lame.
Okay, so what do I need to do? Wait a few years and do this, then do the work anyway that you don't want to give me the promotion for.
Oh, come on. Yeah.
Bye.
Man, see that I think that's why artists kind of like lean heavy into their art. You know what I mean? Because it's discouraging.
It's incredible how you look at people and because they're young, feel like they don't have the knowledge to do something. Now, lack of experience, I totally get. Lack of
Right.
knowledge, I don't. I will never put that on anybody.
Yeah.
Now, if you come out and just say, I know how to do this from reading a book, I might have to look at you sideways like, you know how to do what?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, I read it in this book. This is how you do it. How old is that book?
Right.
When was that book written?
See, if that's going to be your answer, how much are you learning on a regular basis?
Right.
Because that's where your growing is coming
Because
from.
real world applications change daily, change by the
Exactly.
minute. Some book written 50 years ago, 60 years,
Yeah, you
has
can't rely on
some
that.
stuff that may
Right.
apply, but the mindset applications may make sense, but the business applications,
Right, right. And it'll probably teach you work ethic too.
Yep. Well, I can say this.
Uh-huh.
I don't think you can teach work ethic.
Really?
No.
You gotta unpack that.
You cannot teach hunger.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Look at it this way. If you didn't have the desire to do what you're doing right now, and you didn't have the hunger to do it right now, would you do it?
Probably not. I'd probably let everything distract me. And
you can teach skill. You can teach time management. You cannot teach hunger. You cannot teach drive. That is something
that can separate.
That is the main thing. The difference between a creative mind, an entrepreneurial mind, and someone that needs a 9-to-5.
For sure. Yeah, definitely. Because I can see both sides. I can respect the 9-to-5.
Absolutely.
But I can also respect the person who gives everything
for
something they believe in.
It was crazy. A while ago, I was in a relationship, and I asked her, I said, so you want to do this, so why don't we start a business behind it and get stuff? Nope, I want to clock in, clock out, and have no liability. Okay. All right. You don't
taking risks.
Have the drive that is going to continue this relationship.
Hey, maybe that's a good thing. Find out now.
Pretty much.
No, so. I get that. And I know people who have that, I want to do the work and I want to go home because they care about their life and they care about investing in that. And they're willing to work hard in those hours. You get everything out of me between 9 to 5.
Right.
So, yeah. It seems like a lot of creative people or people who are business entrepreneurial minded, they like the game. They like the drive.
Right.
That wakes them up and gets them going.
Hence why most of us have insomnia.
For sure. I could see that. And poor diets.
Yeah, I mean, it's something because our creative minds don't let us stop because when it hits us, it helps you when you sleep, but it keeps you up at night at the same time. It's the craziest feeling ever.
Yeah, it's weird. In my opinion, artists are inspired daily by little things, even the way people speak, their environment, things that they've heard, whatever. But to be able to turn that off, I feel like it doesn't feel biologically possible.
I have yet to figure that out, and I've been at this for a while. I have no idea how to turn it off.
No, I it's a blessing and a curse. But so after you did the sales thing, what happened afterwards?
A lot. A whole lot. I got into randomly contracting.
Oh yeah, okay.
Security contracting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it was kind of crazy because my best friend, he actually at the time was a government employee, so he was the liaison between private military companies and the government.
Oh, interesting.
So
sounds really secretive.
So he said, "Hey, why don't you come do this?" I was like, "Do what?" "Yeah, just come work for me." All right. Next thing I know, I'm in another country getting trained how to do certain things.
What?
So
that's wild.
I
couldn't predict that.
Yeah, no way, shape, or form did I ever think I would have a security clearance.
Wow.
So I still use that stuff to this day because outside of the creative element, the studio stuff, the photography, videography, and all that stuff, I still teach.
Yeah. That's
so
good.
From time to time, I teach
skills. I'm telling you.
I actually teach.
Take it from wherever you get it.
Women's self-defense.
Oh, I love it.
That's actually something I take great pride in because of what's actually happening around the world right now.
Oh, totally.
So
it's needed.
We used to charge. Well, we still charge for our classes, but if a woman says, "I want to learn," I'm teaching you for free.
Right.
Like my services are free. Only thing we got to pay for is, of course, ammo and stuff like that. But I'm teaching you for free. Wow. Like I'm teaching you how to get out of a chokehold. I'm teaching you like stuff like that to just help you defend yourself.
That's great.
But then, and if we want to go down range and shoot some, yeah, of course.
Just stay for the bullets.
Yeah, pretty much.
Nice.
So I definitely take pride in that for sure.
So you could still use that experience on top of the creative. Yeah. I think sometimes we take for granted those little things that we take from the experiences we have, even though they're not our passion, our goal, or whatever. There's still something to learn,
right? And
still something you can give back.
Absolutely,
that's fantastic.
So I have fun with that. If you ever want to learn, just let me know.
Dude, I gotta I know one move. I know how to get out of somebody tugging my arm, but the chokehold sounds really interesting.
Yeah, when we get off, I'll show you one.
This is gonna be exciting. So so you went now after that. How did you get into the creative part?
Crazy part is I've always had this part because even when I was in high school, I used to do events all the time. It was a passion of mine where people, even the school itself, would hire me out to get people to come to certain events at the school just because I had.
You're a people person.
You would call it the gift of gab, but it's not really the gift. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, it's able to convince people to attend something that an experience that we're creating.
That goes back to your sales.
Right.
Sell it really well.
Right. So it's always been a passion that's been there, and then tying it into the entertainment piece, it just always works.
Nice.
So
probably feels natural for you.
Yeah, I mean, I love music. I love the arts, period, and being able to entertain people, have them enjoy themselves, and create that moment of euphoria.
Yeah.
I love that
you
stuff.
Get something out of it.
I love that stuff.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I can always respect and appreciate people who are like, "Hey, come to this event," but they're touching a point or something special in them that draws them in and makes them feel connected,
Right.
And that's like a special gift.
Yeah.
Gift of gab. So, what do you end up using any of those skills kind of as like a hobby or anything?
I take them all pretty seriously.
Really? So you're all business with everything you do.
But I have fun with it at the same time because it's none of this stuff feels like work. You work really hard, but none of it feels like work. I haven't punched anybody's clock in 10 years. I don't think I could ever go back and clock into somebody's job.
It would be hard to, I think, with that mindset. Once
you cross a certain, I'll give you a story. I went back to corporate America for a little while once I got back and was doing really well, like really well. Got promotion after promotion after promotion. Then it just stopped. And once again, it's because this is a Fortune 500 company and I'm under 30. Man. So it's just like all the C levels, all the P levels, all the VPs, they're 40, 50, 60.
Okay.
And here's this kid, not taking their crap. I'm just moving forward and getting the job done. And then it got to a point where I started getting blamed for stuff that didn't make sense, that I didn't have control over. But so
you gotta unpack it. You can't actually just give me a little hint. What now? Give me an example. What do you
my last position was something called a plan admin.
Okay.
So I controlled the system itself on how things looked and felt to agents as they spoke to customers.
Okay.
So it was
building
the whole but I controlled a certain corner of it, and there's 5 of us.
Okay.
Each one of us have our own corner.
Okay.
I started getting crap for this corner. That's not my corner.
Okay.
Why am I getting crap for it? Because I'm the youngest one here? Okay, I'll fix it. That's fine. But then you're saying I'm putting you on the back burner because I got to fix this corner. You just gave me this work, but I can't be in 2 places at once. But you want me to be.
Right.
Because I'm younger than you, and you feel like you can boss me around because of it.
Oh, politics.
All right, so let me catch up on everything.
Okay.
Now somebody else feels like I'm ignoring them. Why do you feel like I'm ignoring you? Oh, because you're putting everybody else's project before mine because they came in before yours. I mean, it literally on my door.
It's not personal.
On my door it says, "Don't talk to me unless you have a ticket." Like on my door.
Oh dear.
And people would come to the door and expect me to jump through hoops just to get their projects out versus everybody else's. And like, I feel like the main issue for me was I was the only one on site. Everybody else was working remote because they're in different parts of the world.
Okay.
And I'm the only one literally in the office. So they feel like I can go knock on his door.
Yeah.
Right. And knock on his door. And then one after another, everybody's corner started coming to me to get all this madness done. And then naturally, some stuff fell behind, but some places weren't picking up the slack. So I'm like, all right. So I'm prioritizing my corner.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, it's my corner.
That's all you can do, right?
That's what I'm doing. And I'm tackling this, that, and the third. Then I get a phone call. We need to have a meeting. Your performance is down and doing this. This is not my work.
Right. What
if
the heck?
you want me to do it, give me your job. If you want me to tackle all this stuff, I'll take your job.
Wow.
You can move up and I'll take your job. Of course, he didn't like that. So I got frustrated. Oddly enough, my now business partner, we both worked in the same company.
Oh, okay.
He quit a year before me.
Oh, okay.
I got so frustrated one day and I got in my car. I said, bro, I'm on my way. I'm leaving. I can't come back. He said, you sure? It's a check every week.
Right.
He and mind you, we're making very good money at this time. Yeah. So he's like, it's a check every week. You sure? I was like, yeah, I'm on my way, man. I'm walking out. I literally just walked out.
Yeah, you don't want to stay there. I think
Right.
if you get to that point, and I think most artists do, they have to make a choice.
Mm-hmm.
Either it's the check every other week or whatever it
Mm-hmm.
is, or it's feeling the grind and feeling the pressure, but it's worth it in the end kind of thing.
Yeah. It's the same fear with both 9 to 5s
Mm-hmm.
and entrepreneurship. But in entrepreneurship, I can control my own fear
Okay.
because if I stop, it stops. If I keep going, it keeps going.
Right.
With 9 to 5s, I can stop and it'll stop. I can keep going and it can still stop.
Wow. Yeah.
So it's kind of a catch-22
Sure.
when it comes to 9 to 5. Not knocking 9 to 5. Some people
Yeah,
have great
no.
careers, great
Totally.
long careers with that, but it's just not something I'm built for
I could see
because I don't have a 9 to 5. I have to open my eyes and close them.
So you're not built for the 9 to 5.
Mm-mm. Nope.
Most business-minded people aren't.
Actually, some business-minded people are.
Really?
Some business people just want security.
Okay.
And
But is it really secure?
it
could be for a time.
Do you think you're built for a 9 to 5?
You know how people are extroverts or introverts,
Mhm.
and then there's ambiverts. I feel like in the business model
Okay.
of 9 to 5,
You just taught me something. What is an ambivert?
An ambivert, so an extrovert, they're very social and enjoy
Mhm.
social interactions,
Mhm.
and introverts like their alone time, but
Mhm.
still enjoy social interactions, just not at the forefront. Ambiverts are good either way.
Okay, so I guess I'm an ambivert. 'Cause
Yeah.
Believe it or not, I don't like people.
How does that work?
I can talk to anyone. I
Sure.
just don't like people.
Okay. You'll have to unpack that too.
That-
Is it
it's-
their crap or just you don't like drama?
No, it's if we were to have this same conversation in a room full of 100 people,
Okay.
nobody would hear anything. If we have this conversation one-on-one,
Uh-huh.
you're hearing everything I'm saying.
Unless they're a really good listener. I don't know.
I mean, it's just
No, that's funny. So that's what I think of. So I'm attracted to entrepreneurship, but
Mhm.
am in a relationship with consistency. If that makes sense.
I guess I'm just cheating on everybody. I'm cheating on consistency. I'm cheating on
It's funny.
non-consistency.
Well, I like to think of that as like ebb and flow. You kind of go with where the wind takes you, and then you'll come back to your principles or whatever.
Yeah.
When it's
I
called
mean,
for.
as it suits the situation, that's where it goes. But yeah, I typically don't like people.
That's hilarious. I think I like people in doses.
I love people. Like, I love people as a whole and the kumbaya and be peaceful and all the other stuff. But people, y'all get on my nerves.
Are you like a only child or an eldest sibling?
No. I'm not. I'm the youngest male. But
Okay.
I have plenty of sisters and older brothers.
So you have a very like calm demeanor about you in that you'll listen, but you're analyzing too.
Absolutely.
And that I think comes with guys who have a lot of sisters.
Yes.
Because you've experienced women from probably the youngest to mature and
3 biological sisters, but 5 total.
well, that's a lot of sisters.
Yeah, and
wow,
then
I could hardly handle 2.
1 biological daughter, but 3 daughters.
Really?
And the mother.
Wow.
And the grandmother.
Yeah, that's women. Yeah.
And plenty of aunts.
See, you can handle anything.
I'm surrounded by estrogen. Like, surrounded by estrogen. And here's the funny part. My sister, my twin, she's surrounded by testosterone because she has boys.
Wow.
So we are literally twins but opposites.
That's
it is
funny.
freaking crazy. So when I bring my girls over there, she's like, "Oh my god,
girls, party!
Yeah, sleep over."
You're like relief.
I'm like, yes, take.
That's so funny.
But it's beautiful. I love my girls. I wouldn't.
It's probably
trade them
helped
for the
you a
world.
lot in your life, I think.
I mean, my girls walk all over me.
That's funny.
I mean, I'll give you an example. My daughter climbed on the table, opened the cookie jar, opened it, and stuck her hand in it. And I walk in, and I see her doing this. And I yell at her. And she walks up. She doesn't say anything. She takes a cookie out, closes it back, climbs down, comes, stands in front of me, looks up and goes, "I love you, Daddy."
She's so smart.
I'm like, oh,
She's so
you
smart.
little.
She hit you in the
I
feels.
was like, you little. Oh, you're so cute.
Because you can't be angry at love. Come on.
I was like, you little. Why are you so pretty?
Girls are very smart.
But I'm the calm, crazy one of my family.
The calm and crazy one.
Yep.
Both. And also maybe an introvert, maybe an ambivert.
I would be ambivert because I don't like people.
That's funny. Yeah, I'll have to read up more on it, but I think there are social situations that kind of distinguish between the two. But it's all relative and opinionated anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyway, so that was
SpydamanX. So Spyda, yeah.
Spyda.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any?
Or LeVar, either one.
Or LeVar.
Mm-hmm. That's most people in the business world call me Spyda. Most of the business people in the world that interact with me on that level, they call me LeVar until they figure out my nickname is Spyda. Then nobody calls me LeVar anymore.
Then they're like, yeah, Spyda.
It's
cool.
It's kind of crazy. When I had a roommate, I got mail one day, and he goes, "Yo, who's LeVar?" I'm like, "Dude, we've lived together for 4 years. You don't know who I am?" And he goes, "No,
like, thanks,
your
dude.
name is Spyda. Your mom calls you Spyda." I'm like, "Yeah, you're right." So
change your name to Spyda.
Legally.
Who's LeVar? Yeah. That's so funny. Do you have any social media shout-outs you'd like to?
CMG Studios.
Yo.
Love that one, and that's where we're at right now. And
check
then, of
out
course,
Spyda LeVar. Just combine those tonight.
Mine is actually on all social media. It's SpydamanX, SpydamanX.
Check him out, folks.
Yeah, that's
got a lot. I feel like I'm gonna bring you back.
Of course, anytime.
We have a lot to talk about.
Sure. We can do segment 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Lord, look, yes.
We didn't even get into the fact that I'm not even American.
Oh, there's like so much I gotta ask you. Not even kidding, because I was like, do I ask him about it? Like, but anyway, thank you, Spyda, for doing this podcast with me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
I love diving into what makes you tick and all the things you have experienced in your past. It's very intriguing.
Anytime.
All right, I'm gonna leave you alone.
Okay. I'm a huge kid. If you haven't figured that out by now.
I love it so much.
And I still hate people.
All right, you guys, don't forget to follow us on the gram, the Snow Globe Podcast, and also on Twitter, the Snow Globe Pod. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Remember, we're broadcasting every other Friday. New episode every other Friday. I'll talk to y'all then.